Gabriel.
Josh, how you doing, man?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Fantastic.
Good. Hey, for those of you that are watching, do you ever look to see how many people watch these? People watch.
Yeah,
Are
that's
you
awesome.
watching this? Is somebody watching this?
It's so to watch it. I know I've had clients come back to me and say, "Hey, I saw that video that Josh and you did, and I learned something new from it." So I know people do.
Good.
I
Well,
did.
if
I've heard
you're
that. I don't know.
watching this today, we're glad that you're here.
We're glad that you're here. That's
Nice.
entirely true. Correct.
Awesome.
All right. Well, I want to talk, Josh. One of the things that is new and exciting for us is a white label app. And I want to let you get in and kind of give your opinion on it. I'll just set the stage for it, right? So JUNO has had an app now for nearly a year. And that app is really, it's a companion app. One of the, we talk about what's so cool about it is it's synced with the data that's on the JUNO platform. You don't have to update two different systems. Whatever's on the web is also automatically on the app. But one of the things we knew, was the app was it was a JUNO app, right? So you'd have to go search in a JUNO store. You'd have to know to look for that. And then once you logged in, you actually got into the client's platform and it took on its branding. Those first couple of steps about like what's on the client's app home screen and what does it look like when they first get in, they're all JUNO branded.
Yep.
And so really exciting that we've now launched a white label app. Let's talk about what's exciting about a white label app.
So let's think about the word tile or the thought of a tile. So I'm in my home right now. You can't see it because we're blurred. But when we first bought this home, my wife was like, "I don't want it." And I was like, okay. I mean, we have these incredible views in the south of all the San Diego mountains, and the north, the sun sets over the western mountains. Like, it's this totally unique property. And she's like, "I hate the tile." I'm like, "The tile, we'll change the tile." Like, it was tile was what she felt. Now, let's change that into white label app. One of the most important pieces of real estate in the human life is the tile on your phone. It's tile on your phone. And a lot of people go, "I don't care about the tile. What I care about is the experience, the mountains." Some people go, "I care about the tile. That matters to me." So if you're like my wife and you say tiles matter, we've got the solution for you. If you want to own that little tile on your screen that says Pepsi, Coke, whatever your brand is, and you don't want it to say JUNO, because see, the way it works, maybe you're more budget conscious or you don't mind, when they download the JUNO app, JUNO has the tile because it's essentially a container app where you go and do it. And then once you find your brand, it's completely white labeled like your brand. It doesn't look like JUNO. It doesn't say JUNO. So for a lot of people, they're like, "That's not a problem for me. I don't care about the tile. No big deal." But for some people that maybe you're either have a little bit more budget opportunity or just don't, or actually care. And they go, "No, I want that tile on the phone to say my company." So what's the difference? Do you have a better app if you do that? No. Do you have more features? No. You have the tile. And the tile can be very important because it keeps, there's a brand warmth with that. There's brand connection with that. So what we've done is said, hey, if you want the tile, if you want to make sure that that's your tile, we have the ability now to create the own white labeled app that you own the tile, you have that environment, and we can make sure to support you in that. And it's a cool thing. So a lot of people are like, "Hey, I want to make the extra spend on that. That's important that I own that real estate, that we own that brand warmth." And so we want that opportunity. So that's kind of how I like to frame. People are like, "Should I white label? Should I not? How do you feel about tile?"
Yeah. It's such a funny one, right? There's so many of those house hunters. We all watch House Hunters.
Yeah.
There's so many of those. One of the two walks in and is like, "I don't like this paint." You're like, "It's paint." Or, "I don't like this carpet." Like, you can change the carpet.
Yeah.
Costs money, right? You gotta do a little bit of rehab on it, a little reno. But it is funny how those little things make a big difference. And I totally agree. And I think everyone knows, like on an app, especially, right? Having it be the whole point of an app is like, it's right there. People almost get that thing. A lot of times people pick up their phone and they're like, launch Instagram and they go, "That's not why I picked up my phone. I was gonna look at the weather or something." And yet that tile, that little piece of real estate, like called to me, and I clicked on it and like, "Oh, well, I'm just, I get so ingrained with looking at it." And so that's the power of.
And there's a value exchange there, right? There's a value exchange there where you go, every time I see that, I'm reminded that my organization is investing in me. So, if you're here and you're like, "I can't afford it, is it bad?" I want to make sure that we straddle the line here of like, well, what if I can't afford it? You're going to get the same app experience and quality It's just, they're going to click JUNO. And when they do, they're going to launch your brand. So, I think it's important to make sure that don't feel slighted if you can't afford it. If you can afford it, it's probably an investment worth making, considering how often people are using their phones and the real estate and the branding you can kind of get for your brand.
Yeah. Yeah. And how we know the mobile app is such a key piece of engagement, right? It's funny how many of those things are like, if I don't have an app, but I want to check that thing all the time and I have to go to like, they also do that thing where you can do like a shortcut to a desktop, to a
Yep.
web application. And like, you can do it, but how many people, no one does it,
No, they really don't. And the way you can navigate, I mean, we launched that product Ready Me for ASAE, and like we've had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people go through the assessment. They did it all on their phone. And so you're actually like, I mean, it's the quality and experience you can create in a mobile environment, especially as the screens continue to evolve and get bigger. And there's just a lot of stuff you can do with it. So no, it was by popular demand and by the chagrin of our tech team that we lifted that burden to do it. But people are stoked, and I think it's really producing a lot of value for folks.
100%. Yeah, excited to have that launch.
Dude, I'm excited too. And thanks so much, Gabe, for all the time. And it's always fun just to get on here and spend a few minutes. So if you're here and you want to know more about the progress of our tech and the elasticity of it, we want you to see it. So reach out to us and let's keep talking.